A ruthless biker kicked a dog for fun. Unaware, Big Shaq is the owner. Big Shaq was never one to boast about his achievements beyond the basketball court. While his days with the Los Angeles Lakers were legendary, towering over opponents and dominating the paint, few were aware of his quieter passions. One of these was his gentle German shepherd, Zeus, a loyal companion Shaq had rescued from a local shelter. Their bond was truly unbreakable. On a warm Sunday morning, Shaq decided to take Zeus to a small local fair on the outskirts of town. The fair was alive with activity. Stalls offered homemade crafts, children played ring toss, and the enticing aroma of fresh kettle corn filled the air. Families wandered about, soaking in the perfect day under the sun. Dressed casually in jeans and a loose-fitting hoodie, Shaq blended in surprisingly well for a man of his stature. He simply wanted to explore, let Zeus stretch his legs, and enjoy the carefree atmosphere. As they strolled near a booth selling fresh lemonade, Zeus wagged his tail, happily sniffing the grass. Shaq paused to chat briefly with a child who shyly admired the dog. However, moments later, an abrupt shift in the crowd's energy caught his attention. Whispers rippled through the fair, and heads turned toward a nearby cluster of motorcycles, gleaming like chrome beasts in the sunlight. A group of bikers had arrived, each clad in leather vests and exuding an intimidating presence. Shaq had encountered many kind-hearted riders in the past, but something about this crew felt different. Their loud voices and dismissive gestures toward nearby families suggested a more hostile edge, causing fairgoers to give them a wide berth. Zeus, curious by nature, flicked an ear toward the noise but remained steadfastly at Shaq's side. Wanting to avoid any conflict, Shaq gently led Zeus away. Just as they were about to head toward a pet supply stall, a chilling shout pierced the air. "Get out of my way!" Then came a yelp, Zeus's yelp. One of the bikers, a tall man with a jagged scar across his cheek, had delivered a swift kick to the unsuspecting dog. Time seemed to slow as Zeus tumbled sideways, whimpering in pain. Gasps echoed through the crowd as people stepped back in shock. The biker laughed harshly, seemingly amused by the dog's distress. Shaq's heart raced as he rushed to Zeus, who struggled to regain his footing, confusion evident in his brown eyes. The fair seemed to freeze. Children clutched their parents' legs, while stall owners stared, uncertain how to react. Shaq placed a calming hand on Zeus, checking for injury. A raw mix of anger and concern welled inside of him. "Hey," Shaq said evenly, looking up at the biker. "What's your problem?" The biker responded with a taunting smirk. "Problem? None at all. Maybe keep your mutt on a tighter leash around him." His friends cackled, enjoying the scene. Shaq rose slowly, dwarfing the man by a solid foot. His voice trembled with controlled rage. "He wasn't bothering you. You had no right." The man, unconcerned, spat on the ground. "I do what I want. Dogs shouldn't get in my way." Someone in the crowd recognized Shaq, letting out a hushed, "Oh my gosh, that's Shaquille O'Neal." A ripple of realization spread, but the biker seemed oblivious or just didn't care. Without raising his voice, Shaq locked eyes with the attacker. "That dog is family to me." A flicker of uncertainty passed across the biker's face. Maybe he sensed the shift in the crowd's mood. Still, he played tough. "Family or not, get it away from me." He flexed his shoulders, clearly inviting confrontation. Shaq felt a surge of adrenaline. Memories of the courts flashed through his mind, but he had long since learned not to solve every problem with force. Yet the desire to protect Zeus roared within him. "Apologize," Shaq said quietly, though his tone rang like a command. The biker scoffed, glancing at his buddies for backup. They snickered, fueling his bravado. "Apologize?" he sneered. "For what? Kicking a worthless dog?" People gasped. Zeus let out a shaky bark, still anxious, but now leaning against Shaq's leg for support. A local fair security guard, short and slightly panicked, rushed over, radio in hand. "So sir, is everything all right here?" he asked, eyes darting between Shaq and the biker. The biker turned on the guard. "You want to make something of it, little man?" But the guard stood firm. "We don't allow violence here. You'll have to leave." The biker glared, about to retort, when two of his friends stepped up, ready for trouble. Tension soared. A woman in the crowd phoned the local police, whispering urgent details. Suddenly, Shaq let out a slow exhale. He placed himself between the bikers and the security guard. Even though the bikers clearly had the advantage in numbers, Shaq's towering presence carried weight. "You heard him," Shaq said. "This isn't a place for fights. Leave." The leader's lip curled, but he seemed to notice how the crowd had turned against him and perhaps finally realized who exactly he was dealing with. Another hush fell as the man stared up at the famed NBA legend, the realization gradually dawning that he had kicked Shaquille O'Neal's dog. For a beat, he looked panicked, then, to save face, he spat. "This place is lame anyway." Barking at his buddies, he revved his motorcycle, and the others followed suit, engines roaring to mask any embarrassment. Within moments, they screeched away, leaving the fairgrounds in a swirl of dust and disdainful glares. The security guard let out a breath, muttering thanks to Shaq. Several onlookers clapped or voiced relief. One child came over, eyes wide with admiration, exclaiming, "You protected your dog like a superhero." Shaq ruffled the kid's hair, offering a gentle grin. Zeus, though still rattled, seemed physically okay. Shaq bent low, giving him a thorough check. Apart from a bruise and trembling nerves, the shepherd appeared unharmed. A veterinarian in the crowd stepped forward, volunteering to do a quick exam. After carefully feeling around Zeus's legs and ribs, the vet nodded. "No broken bones. He's a lucky boy," she said softly. Shaquille O'Neal stood, cradling his dog's chin, and thanked the vet for their help. He recognized that the situation could have escalated dangerously for both him and Zeus. As the fair resumed its lively atmosphere, a subdued mood lingered. People approached Shaq, praising his calm response to the confrontation, but he humbly replied, "I did what anyone would," while grappling with a mix of relief and anger inside. The fair's organizer rushed over to apologize, promising to enhance security. Shaq nodded, trusting her commitment to ensuring a safe environment. Gently guiding Zeus away, he headed toward the parking lot, the sunset painting the sky in shades of purple and orange. Softly, he reassured his dog, "It's okay, boy. We're safe," as Zeus pressed closer, seemingly understanding every word. Together, they left the scene, grateful for their bond and the safety of each other. Shaq carefully lifted Zeus into his SUV, rewarding him with a treat from the glove compartment. He patted the dog's side affectionately. "You're strong, buddy," he said. "Stronger than that fool who tried to hurt you." As he settled into the driver's seat, Shaq reflected on the day's events. What began as a simple outing to the fair had turned into a moment of defending his beloved dog from a ruthless biker. The memory of the man's cruel smirk and kick gnawed at him, and he gripped the steering wheel tightly, exhaling slowly. For a moment, he considered calling the police, but realized that fair security had likely already gathered statements from witnesses. If necessary, he would be ready to cooperate. As the engine purred to life, Shaq decided a quiet drive home was best. He planned to stop by a friend's house with a spacious backyard so Zeus could unwind. The dog deserved it after the day's ordeal. Later that night, social media buzzed with videos of the confrontation. Many praised Shaq's calm demeanor, while others condemned the biker's cruelty. Scrolling through his phone, Shaq felt no satisfaction in the viral attention. He simply hoped it would discourage future acts of senseless violence. In the days that followed, local news reported on the biker gang, known for their distinctive patches and their history of disturbances. The city council began discussing stricter measures against violent behavior at public events. This small incident could spark broader change, ensuring families and pets could enjoy fairs safely. For Shaq and Zeus, life gradually returned to normal. Zeus healed quickly, and any trauma faded with gentle care. Shaq continued his routine of workouts, public appearances, and philanthropic efforts, but he remained vigilant whenever he took Zeus out. He understood that not everyone shared his deep love for animals, yet he refused to let fear overshadow life's simple joys. Ultimately, the biker's act of cruelty backfired, leading to public backlash. Meanwhile, Shaq and Zeus emerged from the experience with a deeper trust in each other, standing tall together as a testament to the triumph of compassion and loyalty over cruelty.